good and important commodity that we have.
Believe in the angels of God as one of the 6 articles of faith.
Some has been made to form rows, and how the rows are made is such that the Imam stands in front, and then right behind him.
Assalamu alaikum, this is Light of Islam. Keep watching Light of Islam, NTA channel.
That is for zakat to cure our greed when we give our money to those in need.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of Issues on NTA Channel 5, Abuja, the Unity Station. I am Tessie Omiri. Now, the Nigerian telecommunications industry has no doubt evolved over the years. From the days of long waiting lines for landlines, I'm sure you still remember, to today's reality of mobile technology, digital banking, e-service, and social media that shape the way we live and work. Yet, beyond these milestones, pressing concerns remain affordability, quality of service, data protection, and the role of telecoms in driving Nigeria's economic growth. Tonight, we will turn the spotlight on the sector, its progress, its challenges, the future that lies ahead, of course, and most importantly, the issues that affect customers directly. So stay with us on today's episode of Issues. The program returns in just a moment. Thank you for staying tuned. If you're just joining us, you're watching Issues on NTA Channel 5, Abuja. Tonight, like I said, we are focusing on the Nigerian Communications Commission and the telecommunications sector at large. We've been highlighting the progress made over the years, but also the challenges that remain, from network quality and affordability to consumer protection and the future of digital services in Nigeria. Now, joining me to discuss these issues is the Director of Consumer Affairs Bureau, Nigerian Communications Commission, Fred Bruce Bennett. Thank you for joining us on Issues tonight. Okay, now we have talked about the days of landline. I was just imagining. I remember when we go and wait at neighbor's house, wait for a particular time when we need to make phone calls. Yes, and all those days are now history. And thank God for technology and all that, which has evolved over the years. Now, the concern is with all of this improvements and technology, people still complain of poor network services, dropped calls, and all that. So what is the NCC doing, to improve all those areas?
I think that's a very good question, because at the end of the day, consumers pay for service and they expect good service.
Yeah.
Quality of service, and we also look at quality of service and quality of experience, because when we look at quality of service, the statistics might be that the operators are meeting the quality of service, but do the consumers, you and I, actually feel that we are getting quality service, that the data is good, that the calls are not dropped? So what is the NCC doing? NCC is working in a multifaceted way. One of the ways, for example, is working with the operators to achieve two things. One, broadband coverage and also capacity. Now, not just broadband, but also for voice. What is the difference? If you have service in an area, but the people are many in the area, you have like a small pipe serving water to 1,000 people. It's not going to be very efficient. Everybody's struggling. So we have capacity, where the operators are working assiduously across Nigeria to increase the capacity so that they have more capacity to serve the people in an area. So if you have, for example, 5 base stations, increase them to 7 or 8 so that no base station is over-congested. At the same time, working on coverage. Are there coverage gaps? Are there areas where we have black spots? And therefore, getting the operators to go to those areas so that we have limited incidences of these drop calls and call failure rates. Okay. At the same time, I'm not sure if you're aware that in the last few months, the operators have done a lot to up to the tune of $1 billion for network upgrades. And these equipments are gradually coming into the country. We expect at the end of this quarter, at the end of the last quarter, the improvements will start to show.
We are hoping.
We are hoping. And then you must remember the critical national information infrastructure, which is the CNII of Mr. President. One of the greatest challenges causing all these dropped calls, as we call them, is actually when we have vandalism. We have fiber cuts, we have all these interruptions on the networks, or when communities refuse to allow the operators access. These are some of the challenges impacting and impeding the speedy and the quick and the easy rollout of telecom services. And the NCC continues to work, especially through our technical department, to address those issues.
So this boils down to probably issue of a sensitization or enlightenment to such communities.
Oh,
yes.
yes.
To let them know that how their activities is, negatively affecting the quality of calls that people get. Is there any enlightenment? Do you do such kind of a enlightenment to such community members?
As a matter of fact, if you check your phone, I'm sure the average Nigerian cannot go 1 week without seeing a CNII SMS telling you about the impact on networks and network sustainability if we as individuals encourage vandalism, see it and do not report it, or take part in community activities, do not allow the operators to maybe have their diesel put into the base stations, then how will you have service? So a lot of effort is gone underway, and I think if you check, and that effort has not stopped, there is continuous information awareness campaigns from the NCC, from the service providers to intimate citizens on the impact of these potential disruptions on service quality and service availability.
Okay, they say data is the new oil.
Oh, yes, it is.
And then everybody say data again. Some of the subscribers, network providers say data is life and all that.
Yes.
People complain so badly of data. I just bought how many gigs, it has finished. What did I do with it? Any education to Nigerians on how to use this data?
This one I have a deep passion for. Why? First of all, Nigerians do not yet understand how the impact of the telecom services have changed their lives. Today, we have about 171.3 million Nigerians who use mobile services and about 131 million who are actually using data services. What does that mean? Our lives are strictly data-driven. What do you do with your data? You want to search something. There's no encyclopedia. You go to Google or something else. Yeah. You want to purchase something. You go to the online shops to purchase something that you need. You want to make a call. Of course, you make the call with your phone. You want to know where you're going. You're not asking everybody on the way. We're using your Google map. You're trying to go to school. How do you do it? You have apps where you are connected to your school remotely. You want to go to the bank. You do not wake up and go to any bank. You sit on your phone and you go to your bank.
Data is life.
Data is life. Or you want to read the news. How many of us buy newspapers? We go online and read the news. Simply put, all the activities that traditionally we go outside to do and we pay for external services to do, we do on our phone. That, first of all, gives us an indication as to why our data is going. We are using data. Our data is not phone calls. Our data is live in more ways than one. Live in the sense that all our activities are data-driven, and it is guiding and guiding all the activities of our life. For Nigerians, it's important to know NCC has ensured that we've carried out a study using the Tier 1 audit firms in Nigeria to verify and vet the billing integrity of the mobile network operators of your service providers to ensure that this complaint on data depletion, on missing data, is there any truth to it? Because as the NCC, our focus is to ensure that the consumers are happy. In Section 104 of the Nigerian Communications Act 2003, the NCC is mandated to, first of all, ensure that the operators meet the quality of service standards and metrics expected of them. And in addition, that they address consumer complaints and that they deal properly, reasonably with consumers. So at the NCC, That is our mandate to ensure our consumers are protected. So we've carried out the study and we have seen that there was nothing. The study by the tier 1 audit firms revealed that there was nothing wrong. So what is
nothing wrong. So how do we manage?
That is why we now had to understand that it is a question of perception.
Yeah.
There are so many reasons why consumer data disappears. And the NCC, along with the service providers, have a committee where we are addressing and educating Nigerians on why data disappears. I'll give you an example.
Okay.
We have autoplay. For most of us, when we use our social media handles, as soon as you start, the videos start playing. As long as those videos are playing, they are consuming data. But do you know you can go into your settings and stop it? Okay. You can go to data usage and actually cause this data usage to stop in sense that you don't have to open a page and it begins to download.
Okay.
You can also prioritize data utilization. Everybody is talking of managing money, and rightly so. But you need to understand, if you spend all day watching Netflix, going through TikTok, going through YouTube, going through Instagram, you are burning data because social media traditionally are data hogs. You spend a lot of money, so you need to identify and prioritize, what do I want to actually do with my data? Everybody, the way you prioritize money is the way you have to prioritize data. You also need to disable background usage. Are you aware that your phones are actually, all those apps on your phones are actually being used in the background? Whether you are using them or not, they are eating data. So you have to ask yourself two things. Do I need these apps? I do that a lot. Even in the last week, I've been through my phone and I've deleted quite a number of apps because I see they have no value. There's no value add of those apps, but they are still consuming data in the background. So you can go to your phone settings, go to general background app refresh, and switch it off.
So that's like you go to your app settings.
Yes, you go to your phone, you go to settings, you go to general, but then you see something called background app refresh, and toggle it to off. It automatically stops your apps from refreshing in the background.
So in that way, it's another way of managing your data.
Oh, absolutely, because as long as they're refreshing, every time they're refreshing, they're using data to refresh. You're not using it, and your data, you can easily stay and not use your data and it will disappear. If you have background app refresh,
you're wondering where it went to.
Where it went to.
Okay.
You have so many. Can I tell you some more?
Yes, tell us.
Wow. You have ads. You know, I like to play games. And when you are playing games, all these ads come up and they pop up. As long as those ads are playing, some of them are 30 seconds and you must watch them. And you watch them with your data. You can go to like Google Play or Apple Store and, download an ad blocker to block them from going on. You can also have lower versions of your apps. For example, you have Facebook Lite, YouTube Go. These are lower versions. When you are also thinking of downloading, especially for your backup and your iCloud, please, as much as possible, if you have the opportunity, use Wi-Fi. Because a lot of these backups consume tons and tons of data. You have your WhatsApp that backs up maybe daily or weekly. Yes. And imagine all the groups you are in, all the data, it's going to back up everything. It's your data you're using. And you are using.
I remember in my phone, like every 2 a.m.
Yes.
I'll see it backing up. Yeah, every 2 a.m.
And if it's your mobile data, then you will wake up and you will call NCC and say, my data was stolen. But it is backing up. So what we encourage people, if you have opportunity, maybe at a workplace or anywhere you have access to Wi-Fi, set your phone settings to back up only on Wi-Fi. Then migrate to data saving mode. On your phone, you can actually set your phone to data saving mode. My phones are on data saving mode. So when I use data, it's using it cheaply. You go to, let's say, even with iPhone or Android, go to your settings, select the mobile phone, select the phone number, and toggle it to lower data.
So those are ways that we can actually manage
and
data.
Many more.
Because the concern is on management of data. And from what you have said, it's just obvious that we cannot even do without data.
Oh, no.
I remember you just throw your phone maybe somewhere because you don't have data. Means that the phone is almost like useless at that moment. That's how it has been for us. So thank you so much for sharing that data management tips with us. Very, very important.
Location settings, watch Netflix on lower data.
Okay, we'll go on a short break. When we come back, you tell us more of that. It's been a very interesting discussion, honestly, and I want to believe that FC residents and Nigerians at large are listening and, of course, are learning from this, especially this data management angle. Everybody is facing it. Yes. We'll go on a short break. When we return, Issues continues. Thank you for staying tuned. We have been having this wonderful, I must say, interesting discussion because it affects everyone as long as you're having an Android, iPhone, as long as you consume data. This topic is apt for you and I. And the Director of Consumer Affairs Bureau, Nigerian Communications Commission, Feder Bruce Bennett, has been telling us tips on how to manage data and lots more, all we need to know about telecommunications in general. Thank you so much. So far, so good. You say you have more tips. Can you briefly round up the tips so that I'll touch other aspects?
Download. If you want to watch certain things, don't watch it on your data. If you have opportunity to download it offline, download. Location settings. If you have your location settings on, as often as your location settings are on, your data is working because it's tracking you wherever you go. Then when you work with the operators, make sure that you query your data. Understand the terms of your data so that you know that you are collecting and using the correct package.
Okay.
Technology. Understand that the higher the technology of the phone you are using, the higher your data consumption is. If you use a 4G or a 5G phone, you can be rest assured that you are going to consume more data. So you need to understand. And let's say for people who have all this, high definition TVs at home, you will consume more data when you are watching those things. So understand that your technology.
So now how do you explain when probably you just you bought data and then as the data is slow? I'm wondering, how do you explain that? Why is it because maybe the network is slow, or is it because of the quality of the data, or because the data is not, maybe you bought, let's say 5 gigs, 2 gigs, as compared to somebody that got 20 gigs, would there be, I don't know.
No.
Okay.
It doesn't matter how much you spent on your data. Okay. Your data is not meant to be slow. Okay. The first thing to understand is that maybe, let's say you traditionally use your data in an area, for example, and you move out of that area with your mobile phone. We've just talked about maybe coverage, we've talked about capacity, or we talked about if there is a fiber cut or something. Maybe the area you are going to does not have as much connectivity. That is why your service will be slower. Traditionally, your service is meant to be the same, and there's meant to be a standard, yes. But if you are in a location with lower connectivity, that is what you will have. But it's not based on the amount of money you spent on your data.
That doesn't matter.
Not at all.
Okay. You sometimes hear somebody say, it's because you bought cheap data, that's why it's not working. No. Okay, there's nothing like cheap data. Data is data.
Data is data.
Okay, the toll-free lines, I don't know, how effective is it?
Which one? Is it our 622?
Yes.
Our 622 is very important. I think Nigerians need to understand that the Nigerian Communications Commission, in particular the Consumer Affairs Bureau, is your best friend. I'll tell you the process for consumer protection at the NCC.
Okay.
Today, if you have a complaint, you call your service provider, they give you a ticket, and they have service level agreements. For every complaint, there is a timeline that they must resolve that complaint by. Going from 1 hour, 2 hours, up to most of them are 24 hours, 48 hours. Quite short time. If they said they have resolved your complaint and you are not satisfied, or for whatever reason your complaint has not been resolved, after you already have the ticket and they try to resolve it, contact the 622. What is the 622? Is the NCC's toll-free number from anywhere in Nigeria,
622.
622.
Okay.
Call that number, give the operators. NCC has put in people to manage those lines. Give them the ticket number, inform them what has gone on, and they will ensure that your operators actually carry out and implement that service. For Nigerians, you can reach the NCC no matter who you are and where you are.
Okay.
You can come to our zonal offices. We have zonal offices in Lagos, in Ibadan, in Enugu, in Port Harcourt, and in Kano. And you can also come to our office at the head office. We have ability for you to come in and lodge a complaint. You can send in letters to us. We will respond to your letters.
Okay.
You can reach us by email at consumer.ncc.gov.ng, and I assure you that that will be responded to maybe in 10, 20 minutes.
Okay. Can you repeat the website address again?
The email address,
Yeah,
consumer@ncc.gov.ng.
Consumer@ncc.gov.ng. Okay.
You can reach us, and even if you put a complaint through the operator's website, on their social media handles, and they've not responded to it, NCC is also monitoring.
Okay.
And we will take it up from there, follow them up, and ensure there's resolution.
Okay, talking about NCC monitoring, are there sanctions or penalties for these service providers who consistently fail to meet some standards? Sometimes you hear somebody that is using a particular service provider say, my network is not available today. So are there sanctions, to keep them on their toes?
Oh, absolutely, there are sanctions. But as a regulator, we know we use sanctions. But sanctions for us are our last resort. Okay. We have our Enforcement Regulations 2019, and it tells us the different ways we can get operators to comply. First of all, if it's an errant operator, you don't start by sanction. For example, you just said if the network is not up. What if it's not up because there is a fiber cut?
Oh, yeah.
What if it's not up?
It's not the fault of the service provider.
That is not to say that they don't have to repair it. They must repair it, and they have timelines that the technical department give them to do. But for everything, we first of all collaborate with them. You have to inform them. You do not come and say, I will sanction you at the first instance. What we do, for example, in the Consumer Affairs Bureau, is that we have monthly meetings with the mobile network operators and with the internet service providers.
Okay, so such kind of meetings help you, to resolve such kind of issues.
Absolutely.
Okay, now let's talk about millions of Nigerians in the rural areas struggling to get connected.
Yes.
What are you doing about them? I know that they say a room is not built in a day and all that. So we have evolved from another, from the rural olden days to where we are today. So it means that we must not get to the rural areas like maybe so fast. But then what are you doing, to connect the rural dwellers?
I think it's important to know that over 90% of Nigeria is actually covered by 2G, which means that nearly the whole of Nigeria is actually covered by telecommunication services. We have a small portion that is not covered, and we are working with both the operators and the USPF, Universal Service Provision Fund, because you need to understand why a country has a USPF fund. The idea of a Universal Service Fund is that there are areas in every country that are not profitable for operators to go to. So you use the fund, which is a government fund, to roll out services in those areas. At the NCC, this is part of what we do with the Universal Service Provision Fund. A percentage of the NCC's funds goes towards ensuring that Nigeria is covered by telecom services and that no Nigerian is left behind.
If you say 90% 2G, it means that almost everybody is connected.
But we do not want one person left and
behind.
The USPF is working assiduously to ensure that the rollout services at the areas where the operators are not able to go for financial reasons. Okay,
quickly, the 5G network, how will it benefit everyone? I know that probably somebody will say, it's for the elites and all that. Quickly, how will it benefit everyone?
The 5G offers a lot of benefits to Nigerians.
Okay.
5G also needs a level of maturity of the environment.
Okay.
If you have somebody who is only making phone calls and checking WhatsApp, they don't need 5G. But if you have the people, in the innovation hubs, those techies who are actually creating solutions and apps, those people who are using data-intensive things, those who are working with AI and building AI models, then 5G is critical to them. NCC as a regulator is working with our operators to see that there is much spread of 5G across Nigeria. And there are two parts to anything. There's the demand side and there's the supply side. There has to be a demand. So from the NCC, what do? We make sure that we whet the appetites of Nigerians to want it. And the first thing you do is mass literacy.
About the 5G?
No, mass literacy. Because the more we have Nigerians who are digitally literate, the higher the opportunities for them to come on board to use higher services.
Okay, we can actually go on and on. We're running out of time. But quickly, before I let you go, these unsolicited text messages, Nigerians are, probably I'm waiting for one alert. All of a sudden, I've seen one message, something enlightening or other. But so, what do you do about unsolicited text messages?
I think
should we just deal with it?
No, we shouldn't deal with it. The NCC has put up the DND, the Do Not Disturb, which is the short code 2442. Please note that if you do not want unsolicited messages of any form, enter the 2442 on your phone.
Oh, okay, 2442. And then you don't get unsolicited.
You will go through the process to say you do not want, and then it will be activated. It is very critical, and I would join it to something else that consumers complain about, which is sometimes people feel that or complain that they've been added to value-added services without their knowledge. By the time you have the 2442, the Do Not Disturb, no operator will be able to add you. And if they add you to a value-added service, call the NCC. At the same time, this is even most critical. Are you aware that you have a short code called *305# that will it will let you know of every value-added service you have. So if you have been added to a value-added service and you don't want it, or you have added yourself and you don't remember, and the monies are going out of your account, 10 naira here, 20 naira here, *305# will let you know every value-added service and you can delete them.
My time is up. It has been a wonderful time. You're having this sharing your experience with us on issues. Thank you so much, Director Consumer Affairs Bureau, Nigerian Communications Commission, Fred Ama. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Tessie. It's just a pity our time is so short. We had so much to discuss.
We'll come back some other time to continue with this discussion because Nigerians want to know more. And it is on this note we conclude today's edition of Issues. I want to believe you've heard all the shortcuts. Make good use of it. And remember, learn how to manage your data so that you won't cry. See you next week on another edition of Issues. Bye for now.